Alright guys, so in section 2 in chapter 7 we're looking at the normal curve, and they're talking about z-scores, and we've calculated z-scores in, I believe it was chapter 3, but now we're going to be using either a table that's in the book or StatCrunch to help us figure out the area underneath the curve when it's not exactly one standard deviation or two standard deviations. So we can look at very specific values. So here when they're talking about the area to the left of a z-score of 0.89, so I'm just going to bring up StatCrunch, and I'm going to go to my calculators, just like we went to binomial calculators in chapter 6. We'll go to a normal calculator, which this is pretty awesome. Way better than using the table, I think. So if we're looking at a z-score, we know the mean is 0 and the standard deviation is 1. So we can just put in the values that we're looking at. Area to the left of 0.89. So that's less than. We get a nice picture of what we're looking for, and then we get the percentage. So this is 81% of the people have a z-score less than 0.89, so whatever we're looking at. So 0.8133 is what I get. 0.8133. Good job, right? And to the left of that, so same process, exact same process. Let's look at number 6. So a z-score that corresponds to a right tail area of 0.32. So this one's doing a little bit backwards, but I want the area to the right to be 0.32, so I need to do a greater than. This represents my 0.32, and there's my z-score. So my z-score is the 0.4677. It probably only wants to go to 2 decimal places, so probably 0.47. And so this is a z-score that we found. We plugged in the probability or the percentage of people, and we're going to put in a z-score. So that's how you work backwards with it. Another one to look at, number 14. So now we're going to get into some of the more wordier problems, which is why we learn how to do this. Again, they have these tables that are in the book that you can use. If you haven't found out yet, I like StatCrunch. So we have the mean is 63.9, a standard deviation of 2.7. What is percentile rank who is 60.2? So what percentile rank? So that would be going from the left. Where do they fall? And so we have 63.9, 2.7, and then our x that we're looking at this particular case is the 60.2. So we know the mean is 63.9. We know the standard deviation is 2.7, and we want to find what the rank is, so everything underneath of this value of 60.2. So it's going to tell you that 8.5% of the people are behind it, and that's what we're talking about with percentile rank. So let's see how many decimal places they want. 0.0853. So we'd be 853 would be the 9th percentile. So again, 7 inches tall, and all we're doing is changing that number. Again, they're above the standard deviation of 63.9. So this is the 99th percentile. Now here's a between. So with StatCrunch, 60.2 and 70, it's very easy to do between. Because we just go to the between page, 60.2 and 70. Again, it gives a nice visual of what we're looking for. So that means 90% of the people are between 60.2 inches and 70 inches. So 90%. Oh, to 4 decimal places on this one. So proportion, 0.9028. Again, so StatCrunch gives us the picture, and we just have to tell it what to do. Standard if we're just dealing with one value, or between.